Hi guys, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed and liked and commented on videos. That helps me out so much. Today I want to talk a little bit about anxiety in travel. And I'm talking about this because I just got back from a trip to New Orleans and I did have a little bit of anxiety on this trip, and I did have one morning when I actually had a little bit of panic. So I want to talk about things that cause anxiety for travelers or during travel, and then things that can help to ease it and keep it at bay so that you can enjoy your trip and your destination. So for me, one of the biggest things that causes anxiety is being in a foreign environment, waking up in a foreign place, a different bed than I'm used to. I wrote it down as disoriented waking. So you sleep, you're in this deep, good sleep, and then you wake up and nothing around you is what you expect because it's not your bedroom. These are not your bed sheets. Everything is different. It looks different. It feels different. It smells different. For a moment, just for a split second, you may have a freak out. And that happens to me sometimes when I travel because there's a moment of forgetting that I'm traveling, that I'm on vacation, that I'm on a work trip. So that one's usually pretty easy to fix. You just remind yourself where you are and why you are. And that you're only here for a short amount of time. That's the thing that works for me the best. If I can't get the panic to calm down, I just remind myself, and this is a method of staying present and grounded for me. I just remind myself, I'm only here for 3 days, and I'm here for 3 days to have a great time and eat good food, and then I'll be home after that, and it's gonna go by very, very quickly, okay? So just affirm where you are, why you are, and that you'll be home very, very shortly. And that kind of helps you to stay in the vacation and in the moment and to come out of that anxiety, frightened state. It does for me, anyway. Anxiety can happen during travel if you are super tired, dehydrated, or eating weird food. And I lumped these all together, but we'll talk about them separately. So if you are super tired, especially you international travelers, if you are going to Paris, if you are going to Hawaii, if you're going to Australia, these flights are super long, and a lot of times they're very difficult to sleep on the flight or on the plane, so you end up being awake for extraordinary large amount of times, long amount of times, 30 hours, 35 hours, and if you're like me, you start to get a little loopy, and I do, and I get anxiety starts to creep in when I'm overtired and I feel that drugged sort of tired, that drugged drowsy feeling. Really, really messes with me. So I try to nap when I can, and I don't ever go to sleep when I first arrive. You want to, for jet lag purposes, try to stay awake, try to stay in the time zone that you're in and do what the locals are doing and sleep when they sleep. And normally that first night of sleep there will sort of correct everything. And in the meantime, affirm yourself again. I'm in this beautiful country, I'm in this beautiful place, I'm only here for a limited time, and everything is okay, okay? Another, for the dehydration, obviously, is to drink water. Bring it if you can, if you're driving somewhere. Just bring a bunch of water with you. We usually travel with a case of water so that I don't have to keep stopping and buying it. And just stay hydrated. Take one. If you have one of those cooler backpacks, we have one, and just load it up with your waters, and that way when you're walking around New Orleans, for example, then you have that water with you and you can stay hydrated, and that helps a lot. And then weird food, and I don't mean weird in a derogatory way, because foreign food is wonderful and New Orleans food is amazing, and if you've been there, you know that I'm telling you the truth. The food there is so good. They're known for their food. However, if you're like me, you like a routine and you're used to eating certain things, you may be used to eating at a certain time, and sorry, my screen went blank. It can be disorienting. It can also, if you have a blood sugar crash, that can cause anxiety as well. So what I always do when I travel, if I'm going to New Orleans, if I'm going to Disney, if I'm going to Paris, I pack snacks for myself that are things that I'm used to eating, and that way I can eat at a time that I'm used to eating, no matter what's happening around me. If the flight's delayed, if we're not having food on this flight, whatever the thing is, I have something with me that I know I can have at any time, and it's something that tastes like home or is like my normal routine at home, and that sort of helps me to not be anxious about the food. Now, do still enjoy the local food. Obviously, you want to get out and taste things and try things and experience things, But if you get back to your room and you just really, really want those cashew nuts, or you really, really want some pickles, I'm crazy for pickles, take them with you. It's just an easy thing to do. And you can bring food on international flights. They do have rules about it, but there's a way that you can pack your snacks in your carry-on, and that way you'll have those with you as well. That's a tip that really, really works for me, and I hope that it works for you too. Another thing that I have written down for anxiety and travel, and I think this is a big one that everybody experiences at some point, and some people are able to put it away as irrational, and some people really are not. They focus on it, they obsess about it, which is being afraid of flying, afraid of having car accidents or other bad things happen. Now, when you're afraid of flying, you're afraid of the plane crashing. You're not afraid of the actual flight, I think. But more than that, you're afraid of not being in control. And this is why I have trouble sleeping sometimes when somebody else is driving on a trip, because I'm not the one that's in control. Now, what you need to know is that control is an illusion. I've talked about this some before. You are never at any point in control of the things going on outside of you. The external parts of your world, those are all under someone else's control, divine control. You are in control of your own life and your own, this is your dance space here, right? You are in control of the things that are going on with you. You have personal responsibility for yourself and your speech and your actions and all of that. But you're not in control of whether or not you die today. To be very blunt about it, you're not in control of that ever at any point. In the way that if today's your day, then today's your day. And I don't mean that ugly. That thought is actually comforting for me. So when I go on a flight, let's say I'm on a flight, I'm sitting next to my brother going to Paris, and I start thinking about bad things that can happen, I walk myself through that scenario. Well, okay, my kids are taken care of. The paperwork's already done. They know that I love them. There's nobody out there that doesn't know that I love them, because I made sure to tell them every chance that I got. And really, I think the best thing for being afraid or having that fear because of control is to get yourself right now. Now, I was gonna say before you travel, but not just before you travel. Just get yourself right in your life. Do your kids know that you love them? Have you made arrangements for them? Do they have godparents? Do you have a will? Are they taken care of? Do your parents know that you love them, that you're grateful for them? Because mine do, because I put it out there all the time. Are you fighting with anybody? Is there somebody that you need to fix a situation with? Because I think the lack of peace when we think about things like death and dying comes from a fear of missing something. Like there's something we haven't done, unfinished business, or there's a relationship that we haven't mended. I think those are two of the biggest. And those are very easy to fix. And I just encourage you to fix those right now, okay? It may sound silly, but it works for me. That's how I live my life, so that if my plane ever goes down, God forbid, and I don't think that it will statistically, it's not likely to happen, I know that the people that I love know that I love them without question, without question. And I don't happen to believe that death is an ending. It's just a transition. So I'll still be around, and I'll still be loving them, and I'll still be loved by them. So distract yourself with movies or games or stories on the plane or on the car ride. That's a fun thing to do, especially if you're with people that you enjoy their company and you guys laugh a lot. On airplanes now, we flew Virgin Atlantic to London, and they had a great movie selection. And I watched like the Amy Winehouse documentary, and I watched the Mission Impossible with Henry Cavill. There's just this one scene that they show in the trailer every time, and I've been seeing this trailer on TV, and I didn't really want to see the movie, but there was this one scene where Henry Cavill just comes at Tom Cruise and punches him so hard. I just wanted to see that one scene, but I ended up really liking the movie. And so let's say a flight from Atlanta to London is like 3 movies and you're there. Plus you get food. So break it up into smaller pieces, like we talked about in another video before. That helps me, and it may be helpful for you. Stay present Stay present, stay grounded, take pictures, enjoy the company, remind yourself this is temporary and it's a wonderful opportunity and I'm grateful to have it. I'm going to be here now, okay? And even when you're in that place, if you're in London, which is beautiful, if you're in Paris, beautiful, New Orleans, wonderful, wonderful place, remind yourself, this is an extraordinary experience that I'm having right now. I'm gonna have this experience right now. I'm going to be right here, sitting in this Pirates bar, listening to music play in the square behind me right now. And that's all I'm gonna think about and concentrate on because I'm so grateful and I'm living my life and this is life. This is what life is about. Okay? So I hope these tips have been helpful. The more practical things like bringing your food, bringing your magnesium or your water, remind yourself where you are, stay grounded. Go ahead and walk yourself through that worst case scenario if you want to. For me, it helps me to actually stay calm. If that doesn't work for you, that's okay. Try distraction with movies or games, write a journal, write a book. I've written parts of books on planes and poetry on planes before. The biggest thing I think to combat anxiety is gratitude and a willingness to stay present. So I hope that these tips have helped you. I hope that you will travel every opportunity that you get because it's the best way to see the world, to meet people, to understand people, to increase compassion, to expand your worldview and your understanding. There's just so many good things about travel. And there's a great travel quote that I actually saw while I was in New Orleans that is that travel is the only thing that you buy that makes you richer. It's amazing, amazing experience. Don't let your anxiety stop you from going. Email me if you want these tips written out for you. I'll certainly send you a copy of this. Or if you have questions or comments or anything. You are courageous and I love you so much. Bye-bye.